Okay, guys, we are going to move into our second part of weathering and erosion today, and it's going to be a quick kind of lesson. I'm just sort of trying to give you an overview of what weathering and erosion are. If you take a look today, I've listed several images and actually a couple videos here down below from a place that I visited over spring break in Indiana. I took my girls out to a park, and I want you to take a look and see, what do you notice and what do you wonder about these images, or if you look at the video, and then share those noticings and wonderings with me on Seesaw. So take a look kind of at each one and maybe pick one or just a couple and just kind of speak to that. Then I want you, when you're done posting that, so go ahead and hit pause and then come on back on over to our video. Okay, you should have posted on Seesaw what you noticed and wondered about the images above. And I want to read this paragraph that I typed in here on our page, just so you have an understanding of where these pictures came from. So a couple of weeks ago, my daughters and I took a trip to a park close by called Falls Park in Pendleton, Indiana. While we didn't see grand waterfalls like you would find in movies, we did find some amazing examples and evidence of weathering and erosion. Notice the tree in the first image. How did it get there? This was a question we quickly asked ourselves once we got there, but the more we observed the land and the environment around us, we quickly had a few ideas. Had the tree always been there before, and it had eventually fallen over due to the rushing water around it? Or had the tree grown somewhere else along the water and had fallen and was carried downstream and got stuck there? If it had been carried downstream, we thought that the water must have been pretty powerful to move it. If we went back today, would the tree still be there, or would the water have carried it even further down the river? I think we are going to have to take a trip back out to find out, which I think I might actually try to go do today while you guys are working on your e-learning. But we also noticed that the ground under our feet, and that is some of the images above that you can see where we were walking. There was some dry ground with some like little puddles, and it had lots of dips and grooves everywhere. What made it that way? Had someone chiseled the ground away, or was it the rushing water? What do you think? How does water shape the land around us? Well, let's find out more. So remember, weathering is the process that takes place as rocks and other parts of the geosphere are broken down into smaller pieces. Okay, so the land has lots of rocks, and weathering is the part that breaks all of it down. And weather is a part of weathering, but we also know from many of the videos we've watched before that other things can cause weathering, even animals and plants, ice, and wind. So there's many other factors that can cause weathering. Now, erosion is kind of the cleanup, okay? So weathering makes the mess, and erosion kind of comes in, and it's the movement of the weathered rocks by natural forces. So for example, if a big rock is broken down into tiny pieces, the wind might blow it away. Or maybe the pieces of rock fall into a stream, and the stream and the water carry those broken pieces away. That is erosion. That's erosion's job, is to sweep it away. And it can be done either by wind or water. Weathering makes a mess, and erosion helps clean it up. So now that we remember what weathering and erosion are, I want you to watch this video right here about how moving water shapes the land. After you watch the video, I want you to go to Seesaw and share something that you learned today about weathering and erosion, or something that you might still be wondering. Okay, if you have an opportunity, and I highly suggest it to get out of the house, if you find a park or part of a wooded area or forest, look for a stream of water. See if you can look very close to find details of weathering and erosion. If you find those over the next 4 days on our days off from school, I would love for you to post those on Seesaw. In the meantime, I'm going to head back out to Falls Park, and I'm going to try to take some videos and pictures to share with you next week. All right, get started, friends, and then click next and move on to the next page.